What should the Steelers do in regards to Antonio Brown and all this drama?
First of all, that sup is something you send a lady if you're trying to be friends
Slide in the
with her,
DMs.
Right.
DMs. Second, this is Ben Roethlisberger contradicted himself majorly in that radio interview. Me and AB are good friends. I've reached out to AB a million times and hadn't heard anything back from him. The beef is between Ben Roethlisberger and AB and this franchise. I go back all the way to the Le'Veon Bell situation. This has been turmoil. AB was the only player from the Pittsburgh Steelers football team to come out and openly support Le'Veon Bell and the decision that he was making, while everybody else was either playing coy, talking about his contract situation. Antonio does not want to be a Steeler anymore. His relationship with Ben Roethlisberger is fractured. I know that because somebody texted me earlier this morning that played this game at a high level at the position of wide receiver and is a Hall of Famer, saying that there is beef between these two guys. And then there's a big misconception that Roethlisberger is supposed to be the end-all, be-all to these conversations. Ben Roethlisberger was, first of all, fortunate to turn into that franchise, which was led by a lot of veterans, got Super Bowls early in his career. I'm not here to talk about Ben Roethlisberger not being a good quarterback. He is and has been for a long time. But to have this false perception, like Ben is controlling the narrative, Ben is the victim. He's reached out. First of all, he reached out to Le'Veon, didn't hear back. Reached out to AB and didn't hear back. Who's the common denominator in all of this? Ben. They don't want to deal with you. So it is what it is. But with that being said, man, this relationship is over. It's time for AB to go.
AB's not going anywhere. Because I don't know if you've seen this, but have you seen that cap hit for the Pittsburgh Steelers? It's like $21 million, okay? As much as we talk about AB and all the distractions, whether it's the Facebook Live and the tantrums that AB have on the sideline when he's not getting ball, Marcus, this is what wide receivers do.
Yeah.
Okay, a guy like AB, this is what he does. Because for most diva wide receivers, they're all about themselves. They're all about the stats, the money, all those type of things. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, they paid AB that contract full knowing that this is the type of dude that he is. Now, you had mentioned Big Ben Roethlisberger, and I think that gets lost into the equation because one thing we hear about with Big Ben, this dude is always calling out guys through the media. Yeah. And we both know, being former players, that the one thing that I can't stand is that a teammate of mine that's going to call me out through the media. It's like, bro, I understand you the quarterback, but who the hell are you to call me out, right? Through the media. So AB is not going anywhere. But I think the even bigger picture here is that I think we do got to give Mike Tomlin some props. Even though the Pittsburgh Steelers have missed the playoff, think about this. We're hearing all this drama now about AB and the blow-up and the rift between him and Big Ben Roethlisberger. Well, guess what? Usually, if we're hearing about it, it's only like 10% of what's really going on behind the scenes.
Right.
I guarantee you that locker room, there's a lot more stuff going on in that locker room than what's being leaked out into the media right now. So you got to give Mike Tomlin some credit in being able to kind of keeping all that stuff at bay and at least having the Pittsburgh Steelers in contention to try to get into the postseason to this point.
Give him credit for what, though? Because if I'm the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers and this Le'Veon Bell story breaks, I'm having a meeting with my players saying, don't address it in the media. It became the talking point of the franchise for weeks, right? I'm not here to knock Mike Tomlin, but I heard Mike Tomlin also say, we don't miss Le'Veon Bell. Well, you missed the playoffs. And we all know, Woody, you were a Pro Bowl player on the offensive line. Players determine how good you are in the NFL. So as much credit as I give Mike Tomlin for the success of this franchise over the time, this year has been a mess. Yeah. And he's considered to be the leader of this franchise during this season when all of those players are in the building. Well, you know as well as I know, when you go into a locker room, and you close the curtains and no coaches are involved, that relationship between players that sit in each one of those locker rooms determine your success or not. But as a coach, when it comes to the public, that's when you have to step in. AB filmed in the locker room after a win, all right? They still paid him like you mentioned. AB also blew up on the sideline on Todd Haley. He blew up on the sideline on Ben Roethlisberger. He blew up on the sideline on his receivers coach. All of this has transpired. It's fine if the production equals the money and you accept that, it's fine. But don't go out into the media and have these conversations like this is catching you off guard. This ain't catching Mike Tomlin off guard. Mike Tomlin let this narrative go for a minute with his players speaking out on it. Now, whether you want to control grown men or not, I know you as well as I know a lot of guys around this league who I respect tremendously would. If you the head coach of the Steelers, your personality, you going into that team meeting and saying, look, guys, we ain't addressing Le'Veon Bell no more.
Oh, listen, that's nothing but facts. But all I'm saying is, whether it's AB, Le'Veon, everything that's been going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and quite frankly, we haven't seen this type of stuff happening with the Pittsburgh Steelers in quite some time because they're one of the most stable franchises in the league. But again, the stuff that we're getting hip to right now, it's 10 times worse than what it is right now. And that's why I give Mike Tomlin some credit in this situation.
Well, obviously, this ascension that we're feeling and seeing has translated onto the field as 10 of Roethlisberger's 16 interceptions this season came on passes that he was targeting to Brown, their most in a season as teammates.